Oh, hella AFK, people. Oh, my controller dies mid-match. Oh my god, that's insane. I was about to go on a crazy feed right there, and I get my controller just dies. Oh, wow. Absolutely blue balled.
What's going on, everybody? This is dkdynamite, and tonight we're going to be talking about what could be the final update in Black Ops Cold War, the new hammer and sickle, as well as the Season 6 outro cinematic cutscene. Definitely stay tuned. But before we jump into that, be sure to hit that subscribe button down below, and be sure to check out our wonderful partner Manscaped, who recently released a variety of products with the Performance Package 4.0. You can clean your bombs on there like never before with the Lawnmower 4.0, the Weed Whacker Trimmer for our nose and ears, the Crop Preserver Deodorant, and even the Crop Reviver Toner. There's also some free gifts like the Magic Mat, the Manscaped boxers, and the luxury travel bag. Don't forget about the link down below in the description, and use code TWITCH20 to save 20% off your order. Now tomorrow I'll be making a zombies focus video talking about the Anfang intro cinematic cutscene. Treyarch confirmed today we're going to be seeing the full cutscene tomorrow, as I predicted a couple of weeks ago. We got a glimpse of that cutscene in the official zombies reveal, but it wasn't the entire thing. We also have a really cool GameSpot Q&A with Treyarch developers about their new direction they're going with for Vanguard Zombies. We'll be covering all of that in a separate video tomorrow. But today there was a bit of confusion with Treyarch's new update for Black Ops Cold War, since it was under my interpretation that we were going to be seeing the hammer and sickle melee weapon at around 12 o'clock noon, as we usually get whenever we get a small update with bundles for Cold War. But Treyarch then tweeted that the entirety of the update, including the hammer and sickle, wouldn't go live until tonight at 9 p.m. Pacific. But then all of a sudden, we did get the hammer and sickle at 12 o'clock noon, so something went wrong there with the wording of the tweet itself. We still went live earlier with the Activision Q3 earnings call, which didn't reveal too much, but it was still cool reacting to it nonetheless. We had some fun with the live chat. Thank you all for tuning into that stream if you guys were there. But you are able to install the brand new title update in Cold War as of right now at the time of posting this video, and it does come with quite a bit of new content to wrap up this game's life cycle with. We have the 100%er calling cards for campaign, multiplayer, and zombies, a heavily requested feature that a lot of people have been talking about for the last year. We also have new Prestige Shop updates with a brand new carved blueprint, some other legacy content, animated calling cards. I'll show all of that on screen so you guys can see. They did confirm that 18-player Infected is also staying in Cold War despite the Haunting event being over as of tonight. So hopefully you guys take advantage of all the Haunting updates, the brand new game modes, and the Haunting event challenges. It is now over, but they did confirm the Nuketown 24/7, 3v3 gunfight snipers only, and even a throwback mosh pit will be releasing with the title update tonight for Black Ops Cold War multiplayer. And if you guys missed out on the Lapa SMG from the Haunting event, you can still unlock it for free through multiplayer or even zombies. Now tonight is also the release of the final gunfight tournament. And thank God it released before the launch of Vanguard, before we all get busy. We do have the final tournament here, so take advantage of that if you guys have caught up on all your previous tournaments, if you want to unlock every single free blueprint as a part of them. And it's unclear if we're going to get any gunfight tournaments or even gunfight altogether in Call of Duty Vanguard. We of course have Champion Hill, a bit of a variation of gunfight, which kind of merges gunfight and battle royale together. It's pretty interesting. Maybe we'll end up getting Champion Hill tournaments with Vanguard multiplayer this year, but I'm honored to have completed all of the gunfight tournaments for Cold War multiplayer just for the sake of doing them, right? The blueprints weren't anything special, but it was nice, you know, being a bit of a completionist, going for Platinum Trophy in this game, which we did earlier this year. I think it was a good couple of weeks after the game came out. We actually ended up going for Platinum in every single Treyarch Call of Duty, including Black Ops Declassified on the Vita. It was a great grind that we did before Cold War even came out. Then we wrapped all that up with Cold War earlier this year. But with that, I went through all the sweaty gunfight brackets and managed to complete every single one of them. It was a ton of fun. Let me know in the comments if you guys also beat all of the gunfight tournaments from this game. We also have the release of the hammer and sickle melee weapon, either the base version that you can unlock for free in multiplayer or zombies. The challenge for multiplayer is as follows: get a tomahawk kill and a kill with a melee weapon in a single life in 15 different matches. So that one could be tough, but you could do it in Warzone. That's why it says throwing knife, and make sure you complete all of those matches in full. Do not back out of your games or else it will not progress and it may bug out the entirety of the challenge. Over in zombies, the challenge is as follows: using a primary melee weapon, destroy the ether orb and outbreak 12 times. That is referring to the point orb, or that little side quest that you may find in your regions. It is RNG based, so that's kind of a difficult challenge. I'd probably recommend doing this in multiplayer to save yourself a bit of time. But if you don't want to do any of these challenges for multiplayer or zombies, then hey, we also have the bundle known as Split Personality for 1800 COD points. Comes with the Agony and Ecstasy melee weapon blueprints for this hammer and sickle. We have the Crusher Antonov skin, also a Slasher Antonov skin, the 9th hour watch, the hook and hinder finishing move, which I'll be doing live in this gameplay that you'll be seeing on screen. We have the teabag gesture and then an animated emblem as well as an animated calling card. There isn't a speed boost like we have with the Sai when you're using these dual-wield melee weapons. Hopefully that clears things up. But now we can look back at the forgotten Black Ops Cold War logo, which never got used at all in any marketing, but it was the official logo for a brief amount of time on Treyarch's website. But for some reason, they just somehow hushed this logo under the rug and never used it again for anything. I ended up making a custom hat with the logo, so I thought it was pretty cool. But yeah, we don't want to endorse communism by flexing this logo at all in real life or throughout any marketing for the game. So I guess that's why they ended up changing the logo to the one we now see on Treyarch's website. But yeah, this could be the final DLC weapon that we get for Black Ops Cold War altogether, unless they pull a Modern Warfare, where at random points throughout Vanguard's life cycle, we'll still get some small DLC within Cold War, whether it's remastered maps, even some new multiplayer maps, some modes, and of course some DLC weapons or even bundles. All of that is still possible, as we're going to talk about briefly toward the end of this video. But Treyarch also confirmed that Onslaught is now available everywhere for Xbox and PC, featuring all of the content that PlayStation already had, right? The 20 plus multiplayer maps you could play on, the LTMs, all the intel, all of those great updates that I think PlayStation really enjoyed throughout Cold War's life cycle. The mode just got better over time. I mean, when it first launched, it wasn't great, it was a bit difficult, and honestly not as fun on some of the maps, but as the year progressed, we got some great quality of life updates to the mode with chalices, new armor, a bunch of loot drops. It just got a lot better. So as Treyarch reiterated, with zombies this past year, we had 4 unique round-based maps, 8 outbreak regions, 6 main quests, 23 Onslaught maps, and of course the wonderful and must-play Dead Ops Arcade 3. We also have new other zombie LTMs like Crank, Jingle Hells, Outbreak Survival, Hollows Eve Outbreak, Dead Ops Arcade First Person, Onslaught Containment, Onslaught Mystery Munitions, Onslaught Accelerated, Onslaught Diminishing Light, and even Onslaught Elite plus more. So they wanted to really emphasize the fact that zombies this past year was very unique in comparison to previous Black Ops iterations, with a variety of different content, not just more of the same. Now, it was a bit confusing since in the PlayStation marketing for Onslaught, it always said that it was going to release on other platforms on November 1st, but they pushed it back to the 2nd for whatever reason. But hey, now it's available, so enjoy this while you can. Consider this your round-based in the meantime until we may get a round-based mode in Vanguard. That's totally unclear right now and isn't even rumored yet. As of right now, it looks like we're not going to be getting that at all, but we'll talk about that in tomorrow's video. We also have some Rampage Inducer updates with tonight's title update, where you can actually use the Rampage Inducer until round 55. I'll put the specifics on screen so you can see, and the full patch notes are linked down below in the description. But for those out there that weren't satisfied with just going up to round 20 with the Inducer, you can now go even higher, which is insane for you round-based lovers out there. And on top of that, they revealed you will now spawn in with 1,000 essence instead of 500 for Outbreak, so that's pretty cool. And they also ironed out a number of other issues, which are all linked down below in the description. I'll put them on screen briefly so you guys can see. But that's not all with today's update. So at about, I think it was 11 a.m. Central, we ended up getting the official release of the Season 6 outro cinematic cutscene, which to me was a very nice ending to what was honestly a very intense post-launch story for Cold War. It was much more intense than the post-launch story we had last year for Modern Warfare, and I hope to see a bit of a strong post-launch story for Vanguard over the next couple of seasons, but I really don't think we're going to see a story lives up to what Cold War accomplished this past year. It was such a great campaign and such a great follow-up with the post-launch DLC cutscenes. But with that, in the Season 6 outro, it is revealed that Stitch is over there near the lumber in Verdansk. It's unclear what happened to all of his allies, right? They were on the Warsaw Pact. All those characters they spent time introducing with the recent seasons were nowhere to be found, and that's the thing, right? We have the Season 6 concept art of Warzone, and it does kind of hint that, yeah, Stitch and his allies were there fighting against Mason and his squad, so I guess we could just safely assume that Mason and his team killed all of Stitch's allies, and Stitch was the last man standing, or maybe they're gonna save the arcs of these other enemies for a possible 90s sequel. Totally plausible. I might make a separate video in the future about how a 90s sequel could work to Black Ops Cold War. But that leads into a couple of other issues, right? This ending for Season 6 didn't at all establish the opening events of Black Ops 2's campaign, so is Black Ops 2 even still canon? Forsaken already put that in question with the fact that Kravchenko may have died in the Forsaken ending cutscene, so if he is in fact dead, that already either put zombies out of the current campaign canon, or it just says, hey, going forward, Treyarch is not going to acknowledge Black Ops 2 canon at all, and they're going a new direction with the current arc. Now, I was definitely expecting maybe them to show a glimpse of Woods going to Angola, getting captured by young Menendez, just kind of setting up what Black Ops 2 established at the beginning of that game's campaign, but it's unclear. Now, what's also interesting is that Stitch mentions that Adler has no idea what Stitch even accomplished by activating the numbers broadcast. So I wonder what Stitch really did, right? What did he trigger around the world? I guess that remains to be seen, and the fact that even Forsaken's ending teases that something happens 5 years later with Peck and the missiles that we saw at the end of Outbreak, maybe we are going to get a 90s sequel after all to Black Ops Cold War for both campaign and zombies. Now, Stitch also reveals that Perseus, or the man that we thought was the big bad in the campaign, had already died many years prior from cancer. Now, we do know from these several endings of the Cold War campaign that Perseus wasn't just a single man, it was a group. But that man, who was played by an actor that we saw in Stranger Things, he is in fact dead. So yeah, Perseus is still out there in terms of the group itself, but it's unclear if Perseus will have any presence in any future Treyarch campaigns that we'll get later down the line. Now, we do hear a final gunshot at the very end of this Season 6 outro. It's unclear if that is Adler pulling the trigger on Stitch, or maybe Stitch hinted that there was a sniper in the distance that took out Adler for him. I mean, he does make a really weird gesture with his finger across his scar. Could mean nothing, could just be symbolic, or maybe it was a hint that there was a sniper in the distance, which Stitch signaled with his hand movements, and then that sniper could have killed Adler. It's a conspiracy right now, I get it, but considering this game takes place in between Black Ops 1 and 2 according to Treyarch, then I was definitely expecting them to retcon something to kind of give us some explanation as to why Adler or Stitch weren't mentioned in Black Ops 2. I know they didn't exist all those years ago when that game released, but they could have explained something to kind of give us a bit of a better understanding of where those characters could have been at that time. We got a really nice follow-up to Weaver's arc, and Weaver didn't appear in Black Ops 2, but we know why that is because of the Cold War zombie story, so it remains to be seen how the Call of Duty timeline works. A lot of explanation is still needed as to how everything flows together if Black Ops 2 is still canon, with that game's arc in the future, with Modern Warfare 2019, and the Modern Warfare sequel coming out next year. A lot still has to be explained, but if you guys want to see the full movie of Black Ops Cold War's post-launch story of Seasons 1 through 6, I posted the entire movie over on my Facebook gaming page. Once again, thank you for all the support you've shown me thus far on my Facebook gaming page. I'll be posting exclusive content that you won't see here on YouTube over on there, so appreciate all the support on that, and hopefully you guys check it out if you haven't already. Overall, Cold War accomplished the impossible. Many games failed to do this today, and what I mean is that a lot of games fail to introduce iconic characters to us which don't rely at all on nostalgia, and Cold War did just that. Introduces the characters like Helen Park, Adler, Stitch, so many others, which resonated so well with the community, which is why I think we could end up getting a sequel to Cold War that may ignore Black Ops 2 completely at some point in 2023 or beyond. I hope Stitch or Adler did not die with this cutscene. We're hope to see a follow-up to this brand new arc at some point later down the line. But last but not least, we of course had gaming scoopers not too long ago claiming that Season 6 Reloaded would happen November the 4th, which is going to be this Thursday. So we know that's also the same day as the embargo lifting for Call of Duty Vanguard. That's of course when certain content creators in the press will post early reviews and some early content of the new game. I mean, I'll be streaming the full campaign once the embargo lifts this Thursday, of course, and I'll also be planning some other content that I'll have scheduled for the full global release. But with that, could we end up seeing another big mid-season update to Season 6? It's possible. Never say never. I mean, Season 6 doesn't end until December the 2nd, so anything is possible until then in terms of any additional content that Treyarch may have up their sleeves. I still think we'll get other content at some point later in 2022, similar to the Modern Warfare treatment, where certain content still got added to that game despite Cold War already being out. We'll have to wait and see, but all in all, it's been an absolute honor covering Cold War this past year. It's really a game to remember in terms of both story and gameplay, and I know that's subjective, right? But Cold War really hit home for me. I just really enjoyed covering the game itself. Some of my favorite post-launch seasons for Call of Duty include Call of Duty Ghost, Black Ops 3, Black Ops 4, and definitely Cold War as well. I couldn't be more excited to cover more Call of Duty for you guys on both YouTube and Facebook as we transition into Call of Duty Vanguard later this week. But don't forget, Treyarch isn't going anywhere. They'll be doing Vanguard Zombies and the competitive scene of Vanguard multiplayer. But that is about it. This has been dkdynamite. Leave all your thoughts down below in the comment section. What are your thoughts on what could be the final update in Black Ops Cold War? How do you feel about the brand new hammer and sickle melee weapon, which I've been having an absolute blast with over in multiplayer? And also, what are your final thoughts on the Season 6 outro cinematic cutscene? Are you satisfied with the ending that we got? Let me know all your thoughts down below. Really hope you've enjoyed, and peace out, everyone.